We're live. This is Elisa and Brian Radatovich with Budget Blinds. How are y'all doing today?
We're good. We're doing fantastic, Wendy. Hope you are.
I am. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you all taking the time to talk with us virtually. One thing I did want to give you guys an opportunity to do is outside of, obviously you're with Budget Blinds, but tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of introduce yourself from a personal perspective to the community.
Okay. Well, Brian and I have lived here in Davie County for this our 21st year. So our kids went through Shady Grove and Ellis and North Davie. And so we've been here a long time. So we love doing work, obviously, in Davie County. And our kids are grown now, and we are in our third year of business. So we are basically have something to fill our time, let's say, after the kids have flown the nest.
Yeah. Well, and now where are your kids right now? Are they here? Or are they?
They're out of state. They're off the books, as we say, both graduate college and in their jobs. So
Okay. Well, it's nice to kind of put one thing I think has been nice about doing these interviews, that it allows folks who are watching it to kind of put a face with the name of the business. So especially, when we have these small business, local owners. So I think that's definitely been a positive. Next question I have for you, and I keep looking down at my phone because that's where I have my questions. So I'm not trying to be rude. In 30 seconds or less, and if you need a little bit more time, that's perfectly fine. Tell us a little bit about what your business is about, what you do, because I'm sure, and just from things that I've seen online, that type of thing, you're obviously more than blinds.
We are. We actually would like to describe ourselves as a full-service custom window coverage company. And we do both residential and commercial projects, big or small. We've got a great installation team that actually works for us and supports us. We are a franchise, and Lisa and I are the owners. The franchise is a family-owned company that's been in business for 27 years and are North America's largest window coverage company.
Okay.
Like Elisa, we've been in business for 3 years, and we're continuing to grow.
Okay. So what are some of the things that, what kind of encompasses window coverings?
Anything from just a basic blind, and then in the shading category, there's multiple types of shades. You can do a cellular shade, a Roman solar roller shade, a nice woven wood shade, and we do custom shutters and custom fabric as well. And we do some outdoor products such as outdoor solar screen shades to reduce the heat and keep you protected from some of the elements as well.
Okay. Let's see. Now that we're all kind of operating under this stay-at-home order, I'm sure you all, like so many other businesses, are having to do business differently. So what are some things that you all are doing to stay in front of your customers and still meet their needs?
Elisa, she does a great job, from a marketing perspective, really from a social media, really to continue to get us in front of the public eye. We've really moved to kind of a virtual meeting like we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of a starting point since we're dealing with the COVID-19 virus, and that we were really trying to at least get somewhat in front of our customer. We've got all of our samples here that we're able to at least give the customer an idea. They can take the computer and walk around and kind of give us an idea of the project, the room size, things like that. So that is one of the ways we're doing it. And then from there, if there's a continued interest, what we'll do is we'll take design guides, books from our vendors, and when we match up our client with the vendor, we'll take that to their home, leave that on their porch, and let them then look at the sample, and then take different swatches for looking at a shade or so, to be able to put that in their window so they can get a better understanding of what they're trying to accomplish and how it looks.
Okay. I'm just curious, how did you said you've been doing this now for 3 years, so what kind of, how did you become interested in the window covering industry?
We actually was my doing. I convinced Elisa to go into business together. I had been in the corporate world for quite a long time with some big companies within the area, and I was just looking for something different to do. And I got a strange call from a franchise broker, and I ended up taking the call. And from there, it just prompted us to look at a few different businesses. And Budget Blinds, actually, out of all the businesses we looked at, was really the best. They were so just buttoned up. They had that family-oriented mentality. They really support their business owners, and they have just a great strategic alliance with like 35 of the industry's best vendors. So it really kind of made sense, with at least as a marketing background and with my sales background, and then we have a great install team. It really came together for us.
Yeah, well, that's great. So sort of that husband-wife duo. Lisa, do you, seems like at some point you and I had talked, and now do you all do almost a little bit of like, I don't want to say you're an interior designer, but you all do kind of offer suggestions and recommendations?
We do. We do, in addition to window coverings, which, you know, we could really go into a lot of decorative, you can make your window, you know, the center of your room also. So we talk to people a lot about that. He and I, a lot of times, will actually work together, especially if they're really struggling with not knowing exactly what might look really well in their window, you know, moving up regular blind situation. So we'll go in together, and a lot of times that's we're a good pair together in someone's home. And we also do other home decor. So we actually sell custom bedding, we sell rugs. So we have a little bit of home decor also. Okay.
Now, where can folks see that type of thing? Like, I mean, I would assume, like, do you do like the fabric would be like for pillows and things like that as well?
Right, sure. Custom bedding, we have a bedding line that we have that we can show people. We have samples of things like that and different choices, but we also can do any custom fabric into pillows, of course, and a lot of our fabricators have an option of doing actual bedding.
Okay.
With the fabric, maybe to go with something they're going to pop in their window.
Okay. Now, are those things where they have to look at samples directly with you all, or are those things online where they can look at them? Or
primarily, we are a full service, like in the home type of consultation. And
okay.
You know, with the virtual, you still have to do a lot of that too. Anyways, I'm not sure that we'll ever really. I'm not sure that our business is really a totally online business.
Right.
We really full service, meaning we're consulting. We are kind of, like you said, that designer kind of business where we're going into a home, looking at their windows, their home, their decor, and then suggesting and showing samples and really spending a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now if, this isn't the last question, but like if somebody wanted to call you to discuss kind of next steps, what is the best way for them to get online, and what is your Facebook page address so folks would know where to follow you there?
Yes, we are. They give us titles. We have a zip code. We're zip code based.
Okay.
So we have names. So we are actually Budget Blinds of Lexington and Salisbury.
Okay.
The 27028, which is Knoxville, fits into the Salisbury area.
Right.
And we do a lot of work in that zip code. So Budget Blinds of Lexington and Salisbury would be our website, and then Facebook would be the same.
Okay.
So you just look us up that way. We are on both, and we have a lot of information on all of, you know, both those social medias. So.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, well, I have one question for you that is kind of a just for fun, just something a little lighthearted. Since starting with Budget Blinds, has there been a project that really stumped you? In order to meet your customers' needs, you really had to be creative.
Yeah, you know, we're looking back. We actually had a homeowner that contacted us, and she wanted to put custom shutters in her home that was built in the late 1800s. And in some parts of the home, they had floor-to-ceiling windows. So when I got to the home, it was really had just a lot of character, and just for being that old. But unfortunately, it wasn't a square window in the home.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the project like, well, this is really going to be a challenge. And so she was trying to find a company that really could really make it look right. So one of our installers is a carpenter. And so after I looked at the project and made some notes, I brought my installer back with me, one of my installers, and we looked at it. And we had to really be creative. So Dan had suggested, Brian, in order to do this, especially in one room, we're going to have to do some additional build out to get everything square in that. But by doing that, we'll have, the perfect look. So we did that. We installed 14 shutters. It took 10 hours to do that, but it turned out beautiful. And the homeowner was really happy. She wrote a really nice review on our website, and just really talked about the level of detail and attention and really Dan's creativity, because there was a lot of things that he had to do that was actually on site that he looked at the project, but things that kind of pop up along the way that he didn't maybe anticipate. So he really had to do some creative thinking and did a great job.
Yeah, and I'm sure with a project like that, you have to be especially sensitive to being able to, retain the integrity of a house that, was built during that time, so you don't, hurt the value. So that's great to know that you all are able to go that next step. So, okay, well, I think that's gonna wrap us up for today, but I do appreciate you all spending, 10, 12, 15 minutes with us. And anything you guys want to share before we hop off?
No, we're just excited to move forward, and we are, just to let you know, Wendy, we are doing those virtual, but we are considered essential. So we are doing that, out of respect for the community and trying to be the social distancing, but we are going in and doing measuring.
Okay.
People outside their home, a lot of new houses, things like that, and we are installing.
Okay.
Because again, people can be, leave or whatever they are. If it's a new home, a lot of times, it's empty. So we're doing a lot of that.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out. So, okay. Well, I will let you all get back to work, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks. You do the same.
Thanks. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.